You may have seen that in some vehicles the rear wheels are not really even. You can see in this Honda, this is just like that. So this wheel and actually both rear wheels are not standing as they should. Is this a big problem? And what should you do? I will let you know in this video. So in most cases, this is the problem with the coils. The rear coils in your car are holding the vehicle in the needed position, and when they are worn out, the rear end of the vehicle can sag a little bit. And when it does this, when it sags, all the suspension in the rear part of your vehicle is not actually in its place. So when the coils sag, the wheels may do like that. And unfortunately, there is no way you can fix this easily in most cars. Why is it actually bad? Well, first of all, this is bad because this destroys your rear tires. You may know that tires are not really cheap these days and you don't want to buy them every season. Secondly, this affects the gas mileage because the rear wheels will not be freely rotating. They will stop your car a little bit. You will not feel this, of course, but the vehicle will feel this, the engine will feel, and the engine will need to produce more energy to let your car go with the certain speed. Also, this problem produces a lot of noise. When you are driving on the highway, maybe faster than 55 miles per hour, you will hear a lot of additional noise in the car just because the tire is not positioned properly on the road. So the tires will not work the way they should work. And this is the bad problem. Another issue is the wheel bearing wear. Your rear wheel bearings will not be in the proper position, so they will be under some load. And eventually they will start making some noises and you will have to replace them. But the problem is that new bearings will do just the same in 1 or 2,000 miles. So this is the problem. Of course, when the wheels are not positioned correctly on the road, it leads to another issue. The stability of the vehicle is affected and you will not have the proper stability, and it means that the safety of your car is affected and you need to do something with that. So as I said before, the most common reasons for this is the coil sagging. But there are some other reasons, like wheel alignment, for example. If your vehicle has the suspension arms that allow the wheel alignment, maybe this is the problem and it's easy to fix. Also, one more issue that I'm sure you won't be really glad of having is the problem with suspension. So if the rear suspension in your vehicle isn't in good condition, one wheel can be in this wrong position. Usually it happens with just one wheel, and this is the clear sign that you need to check the suspension first. So how can you fix this? Well, first of all, you can fix this by wheel alignment. This is the easiest and the cheapest option, but unfortunately it's not available in all vehicles because the rear suspension in a lot of cars doesn't have this wheel alignment opportunity. So it doesn't have the bolt on its suspension levers and suspension arms. And when it doesn't have the bolt, you can't adjust the wheels, you can't adjust their position, so there is just no way you can do this in, for example, a Honda CR-V in the 3rd and 4th generation, which commonly have these problems. The second option to solve this problem is to buy the new coils. This is not the cheapest way, but it will solve the problem for quite a long time. If you buy and install new coils, your car will get back to the position where it was when you bought it new. So this is the clear way to solve this problem, but it will cost you some money because OEM coils and labor are pretty expensive. And finally, there is one more cheaper way to solve this problem, is to install the spacers. There are special types of spacers that can be installed under the coils, and when you install them under the coils, your car raises up a little bit. And while this is the way of making the car clearance higher for some vehicles, in this case it may help you to just get the car back into its original position. And this is the very cheap way in terms of parts, but the labor is not going to be cheap anyway. Unfortunately, this will not help you forever because the coil will sag even more, and in 1 year or 2 years you will still need to buy the new coils, but at least for some time this will save you some money. I believe that the most important thing is to understand how to prevent this thing from happening. Well, there are some cars that have this problem as a common issue. For example, the Honda CR-V of the third and the fourth generation both had this problem and no option for wheel alignment. So you will see a lot of Hondas with these wrong standing wheels. This is just a common problem, and it's rare. Coils sag really much. But of course you can accelerate this process just by using your car wrongly. For example, the first thing that comes to my mind is the payload. You need to know the payload of your car and to understand how much cargo you can put in the trunk. If you overload the trunk, if you put a lot of weight in your trunk, your coils will be under the pressure and they will sag very fast. Another thing is the tow bar download. So if your vehicle has this hitch that you attach your trailer to, you will need to understand the payload of this hitch, because in each car it's different. In this Honda that I showed you, this is exactly the problem. So the previous owner had a trailer with the boat, and he used to tow his boat with this car, but the boat trailer was really heavy and the load to the hitch was really high. So this led to really fast coil sagging in this car. And also the towing capacity is another serious thing you should remember. If you tow more than the car is made for, the rear part of the vehicle will sag really much. I recommend you find the towing capacity for your car and then make it minus 20-25%, and this is the maximum you can tow, because otherwise the rear suspension of your car will work at the edge of its possibilities. And of course this will lead to faster sagging of rear coils. And lastly, is it okay to drive with this problem? Yes, you can drive with this problem, but you need to remember that your fuel consumption is higher, the stability of the car is worse, and your tires are wearing really fast. So you're wasting your money. And maybe it's really cheaper to find one or another way to solve this problem than to drive with your air wheels standing like this.